Good morning, students. Today in this module, we are going to discuss a few of the questions of simple interest which seem to be a bit difficult to be understood by you in exercise 5A of your textbook. So what I'm going to start with is question number 9. Can you see the question in the book? In the question they are saying, if the simple interest on a sum of money is 1 by 3 of the sum in 3 years, find the rate of interest per annum. So if you see on the screen, I have assumed the principal to be P. Simple interest as mentioned in the question will be 1 by 3 of this particular money. So it is going to be equal to 1 by 3 into P. So it becomes P by 3. Time is given as 3 years and we have to find the rate. So we are going to make use of the formula of simple interest, that is PRT upon 100. Substituting the values in here, P by 3 will be equal to P into R into 3 upon 100. Once we solve it, the value of R comes equal to 100 upon 9, which is going to be equal to 11 1 by 9%. So that becomes our final answer. We move ahead with question number 11. Kindly see the question. They are saying a sum of money becomes rupees 5070 in 18 months and rupees 5610 in 4.5 years. We need to find the principal, the rate of interest and the amount after 5 years. Now if you can understand it, there are two cases given. So see how I am starting with it. I have assumed the principal to be P. This principle is going to remain the same in both the cases. Amount 1 is given as rupees 5070 and time 1 means for the first case is given as 18 months. 18 months will be converted to years if I divide it by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So it becomes 18 by 12 years, which on simplifying becomes 3 by 2 years. Rate we need to find, so it is a question mark. We are going to apply the formula of amount, which is equal to P within bracket 1 plus RT by 100. Now we are going to substitute the given values according to the first case. In place of A we have 5070. On the right side P remains P because we don't know the value of it. Within bracket 1 plus the value of time is 3 upon 2. So it becomes 1 plus 3R upon 2 into 100 in the denominator. So when we simplify it, we are going to get the value of P. If I take the bracket on the other side, it will go in division. So we get the value of P as 5070 into 200 upon 200 plus 3R. This becomes our equation number 1. Now moving on to case number 2, the second case, when the principal is still P and the second amount given as rupees 5610. Time is given as 4.5 years, so it becomes 9 by 2 years. Here I have mentioned T1, actually it is T2. Now rate we need to find. So remember P and R in both the cases are same, so I am taking the values as P and R respectively. Again applying the same formula, A is equal to P within bracket 1 plus RT upon 100. Substituting the values, you are going to get the value of P as 5610 into 200 upon 200 plus 9R. This becomes our equation number 2. Now if you see equation number 1 and equation number 2, the value of P remains the same. So I am going to equate these values. If the left side is same, the right side is also equal. So taking the right side from equation number 1, which will be equal to the right side of equation number 2. Now we are going to solve these. We are going to solve this equation. So on simplifying it further, you get the value of R equal to 15 upon 4, which is equal to 4 1 by 4%. So this is one of the answer that was required. Now we are going to substitute the value of R in either of the two equations that we have formed earlier. So let's use equation number 2. Equation number 2 was P is equal to 5610 into 200 upon 200 plus 9R. Here we are going to substitute the value of R as 15 upon 4. So once we simplify it further, the value of P comes equal to rupees 4800. So this becomes the second answer required in the question. Now the final part of the question where we have to find the amount after 5 years. Now we have the value of P as 4800 and the value of R as 15 by 4%. So we are going to substitute these two values in the formula of amount, which is equal to P within bracket 1 plus RT upon 100. Here time is 5 years. So substituting all these values, the value of amount is going to be rupees 5700. That becomes our final answer. I hope this question is clear. Moving ahead with question number 12 now. In question number 12, they are saying at a certain rate of simple interest, rupees 1600 becomes rupees 2200 in 4.5 years. What sum of money will become rupees 5025 in 4 years and 9 months at the same rate of interest? Again, two cases are given. 1600 becomes 2200. That means the principal is 1600 and the amount is 2200 in the first case. Rate we have to find, rate is going to remain the same in both the cases. So I have assumed the rate to be R. In the first case, the time is 4.5 years, which becomes 9 by 2 years. So applying the formula of amount, which is equal to P within bracket 1 plus RT upon 100. Substituting all the values, only R is unknown. So we are going to simplify this particular equation and the value of R will be calculated as 25 by 3%. Now this rate is going to remain same in the second case. So continuing with the second case where amount is 5025 and the time is given as 4 years 9 months. 4 years 9 months means 4 years is already in years. 9 months will be converted into years. 9 months will be equal to 9 upon 12 years. So on simplifying it, we have 4 plus 9 upon 12, which becomes 19 upon 4 years. So we have the value of time in years. Remember, we have discussed it earlier also that when we are substituting the value of time or the rate, they should relate to each other. That means if the rate is per annum, the time has to be in years. Fine. The rate we have already calculated as 25 by 3%. Now the principal has to be calculated. So we have assumed the principal to be P. So substituting the values in the formula of amount, which is equal to P within bracket 1 plus RT upon 100. Only P is unknown. So we are going to simplify this equation to get the value of P, and the value of P comes equal to rupees 3600. And this is the answer which was required for the question. I hope it is fine. Moving ahead with the next question, that is question number 13. Kindly see it in the book. They are saying Anwar lends a sum of money at the rate of 16% per annum and receives rupees 736 as the interest. So the principal is not given, so I have assumed the principal to be P. Rate is given as 16% per annum and the simple interest or the interest is given as rupees 736. The time is also not given, so I have assumed the time to be T years. So applying the formula of simple interest, which is equal to PRT by 100, we are going to get an equation in terms of P for the value of T. So I'm going to keep T on one side and rest of the things will be taken to the other side. So value of T comes equal to 4600 upon P. I hope this is clear till this step. Now they are saying in the question, kindly see it in the book, if he had lent the sum for 4 years more, that means whatever was the time earlier in the first case, if I increase 4 more years in it, that means T plus 4, then he would have received rupees 3680 as the interest. So this is the second interest that is given. This is case 2. Find the sum of money. So see the statement on the screen. Simple interest in the second case is given as rupees 3680. Time, like I have already said, becomes T plus 4 years. Here T is nothing but what we have calculated earlier in terms of P. So T is actually equal to 4600 upon P, which we are going to substitute in the equation form. Rate is still the same, it is 16% per annum. So let us proceed further. Using the same formula, simple interest is equal to PRT by 100. This time simple interest is 3680. On the right side we are going to substitute P into 16 into T plus 4 upon 100. So T plus 4 becomes equal to 3680 into 100 upon P into 16. What I did, I have taken the terms on the left side. Now substituting the value of t as 4600 upon p, and once we are going to solve this equation now, we are going to get p equal to rupees 4600, and this is what was required in the question. I hope you are okay with it. Remember, whatever we have to find in the given question, you need to somehow get an equation in terms of that variable, and the value of the variable will be easily found. So this is the logic behind solving the questions. Moving ahead, we have the next question as question number 14. Now you can see that I am trying to solve as many questions as possible, because yes, these questions are a bit tricky, and you need to understand what I am trying to explain. In case you still don't understand it, you don't have to worry. I'm going to take a Google Meet class for the same, wherein you can discuss your queries. But remember, students, in order to ask your query, you need to honestly attempt the questions. Please do not take it lightly. These questions are not so difficult that they cannot be understood. You need to understand them. First and the foremost thing is, these word problems are to be translated properly. Once you are able to understand the given statements, once you are able to visualize the given problem, it becomes really easy, because only two formulas we are using. First is the formula of simple interest, that is PRT upon 100, and second is the formula of amount, which is P within bracket 1 plus RT upon 100. There is nothing else that we are using in this exercise. Fine, let us proceed further with question number 14 now. Kindly see it in the book. A sum of money is invested for 3 years at a particular rate of interest. If the rate of interest were 3% per annum higher, the interest would have been rupees 1467 more. Find the sum of money. So this is a bit similar to question number 13. There the time was increased, here the rate is getting increased. So let us see the statements given on the screen now. I have assumed the principal to be P. The time in the first case is given as 3 years. Rate is not given, so I have assumed the rate to be R. Applying the formula of simple interest, the simple interest value comes equal to 3 into P into R upon 100, because P and R both are not given in the first case. Now the rate becomes 3% more, so the rate will be equal to R plus 3% in the second case. Simple interest is 1467 more than the previous simple interest. The previous simple interest was 3 PR upon 100. So the new simple interest will be 3 PR upon 100 plus 1467. Simplifying it, you are going to get an expression for the second simple interest as 3 PR plus 146700 upon 100. Now applying the formula of simple interest, SI is equal to PRT upon 100. In place of SI, I am going to substitute the expression that I have got by substituting the value of the previous simple interest. Okay, and on the right side we have P into R plus 3 into 3 upon 100. Now we need to simplify this particular equation that we have obtained. So once we simplify it, you will find that the PR term is cancelled while solving it, and you are left with a variable P whose value comes equal to rupees 16300, and this is what was asked in the question. So this is the required principle. Moving ahead with question number 16. They are saying rupees 41.75 was paid as the interest on rupees 835 at 61 by 4% per annum. So everything is given. Interest is given, the principal is given, and the rate is given. The only thing which is not there is the time. Now they are saying if the date of lending was 5 January 2009, find the date up to which the interest was paid. Now for these type of questions, when we have to either find the starting date or the ending date, I have told you that the time duration is going to be calculated by either including the starting date or including the ending date. One of the date has to be excluded. So that is the logic behind this question. So we are going to write the given statement. Kindly see it on the screen. SI is given rupees 41.75, P is rupees 835, and R is 61 by 4%, which becomes 25 by 4%. The starting date is 5 January 2009, which we are not going to see right now. Our main motive now is to find time. Ending date has to be found, and time I have assumed to be T. Applying the formula of SI, which is equal to PRT by 100. Substituting the values in here, we are going to get the value of time equal to 4 upon 5 years. Now 4 upon 5 years is the time, but we have to deal with the starting and the ending date. For that we require the number of days. Now one more thing that I have told you earlier, no matter whether the year is a leap year or not, the total number of days in a given year will always be taken as 365 days. The reason being, for each individual year, the number of days is equal to 365.25. So 0.25 we are not going to think about much, and we are going to take it as 365 days only. So converting 4 by 5 years into days, it becomes 4 upon 5 into 365. So it comes equal to 292 days. That means the total time is in days equal to 292 days. Now the starting date is 5 January 2009. 2009 is not a leap year because it is not divisible by 4. So excluding the date in January, because I am going to include the ending date. So I have excluded the date in January. So the total number of days will be 31 minus 5, which is equal to 26. Why 31 minus 5? Because the total number of days in the month of January is 31. In the month of February, there will be 28 days. Similarly, March will be 31. April is 30. May total days are 31. June it is 30. July 31. August 31. September 30. Now you have to keep on adding these number of days. So if I add them from the starting month, that is January, to September, we are going to get 268 days. Total number of days came 292 days, and the total sum of the number of days till the month of September is 268. So what we are going to do, we are going to get the difference between the two number of days, that is 292 minus 268. So it comes equal to 24 days. These 24 days are going to be taken from the next month. So because I am going to include the ending date, so ending date will fall in the month of October. October has 31 days. So if I am going to include 24 days in the month of October, the date obviously will be 24 October, because 268 is already covered till the month of September. 24 days are left, which will be taken from the month of October. So the date obviously will be 24 October 2009, and that becomes our final answer. Now this question is not so difficult, but then you have to take care for the number of days in each month, and the most important part, you have to either include the starting date or you need to include the ending date. One of the two dates have to be excluded. That is the main point. Moving ahead with question number 18. Kindly see the question in the book. In question number 18, they are saying a moneylender's income decreased by rupees 60 when the rate of interest dropped from 8% per annum to 7.3 by 4% per annum. What was his principal? So the given statements, I have assumed the principal to be P. Kindly see it on the screen. Let the initial interest, because the income is not given. Income is nothing but the interest on the money invested. So let the initial interest equal to I. New interest according to the question will be I minus 60, because it dropped. The interest dropped means it was decreased. Now the first rate is given as 8% and the second rate is given as 7.3 by 4%, which is equal to 31 by 4%. Time we are going to take as 1 year. This is the most important part of the question. They have not given time, but they are comparing the simple interest on the basis of two rates. Rates are in per annum. So you can always take time equal to 1 year. Okay. Now in the first case, applying the formula of simple interest, I will be equal to P into 8 into 1 upon 100. So the value of I comes equal to 8p upon 100. In case 2, Simple interest is equal to PRT upon 100. Here, in place of simple interest, we have I minus 60. It will be equal to P into 31 into 1 upon 100 into 4 because the rate is 31 upon 4. If we simplify it, we are going to get the value of P as 24,000. How did it come? In place of I have substituted the value from case 1. That is 8p upon 100 was substituted in place of I. So it becomes 8p upon 100 minus 60 on the left side, and on the right side we have 31p upon 400 on simplification. Once you solve it, the only unknown term is p. So the value of p will be easily calculated and it comes equal to rupees 24,000. Moving ahead on to question number 19. Kindly see the question in the book. Question number 19 in your textbook says a part of rupees 60,000 was invested at 12% per annum for 5 years and the rest of it was invested at 10% per annum for 4 years. If the total interest earned was 27,000, find the sum of money invested at each rate. So again there are two cases. The total money invested is given as 60,000. Kindly see on the screen. The money invested is 60,000. Let the first part of it that was invested be P. So let the first principal be P. Time is given as 5 years, rate is given as 12%. Applying the formula of simple interest, that is PRT upon 100, you are going to get the value of simple interest as 3P upon 5. Now in the second case, the remaining money is invested. How much money is left? We have invested P out of 60,000. So the money left will be 60,000 minus P. Rate is given as 10%, time is given as 4 years. Again applying the formula of simple interest, which is PRT upon 100, you are going to get the value of simple interest as 120,000 or 1,20,000 minus 2P upon 5. Now this total interest is given to you. So according to the question, total interest is rupees 27,000. Total interest means simple interest of the first case plus simple interest of the second case. So we are going to substitute the values. Interest 1 plus interest 2 should be equal to 27,000. So you get an equation in terms of P. On simplifying this equation, you get the value of P as rupees 15,000. Now they want the parts invested in both the cases. So in the first case, the money invested is 15,000 rupees 15,000, and in the second case the remaining money was invested, that is 60,000 minus P. Substituting the value of P, you get the remaining money as 45,000. So in the first case the money invested was 15,000 and in the second case the money invested is rupees 45,000. Now I hope you are clear with this particular question. The remaining questions, the very few questions that are left in the exercise, they are very similar to what we have gone through. So you can easily attempt them. Still, if you have any doubt, you can always ask it in during the Google Meet, and we are going to surely discuss it. So I hope it is clear. We are on to the assignment. This I have already given to you, but in case you have not done it earlier, please go through this explanation and then do the work according to the instructions given. Take care class, stay safe, and belated happy Children's Day. Thank you so much.